Good morning everyone. I'm in Bossall, which is between York and Stamford Bridge. Tiny little village with a tiny little church over there. I've been here before. I'm doing a version of a ride that I've done before, but it's shortened just to get me back into cycling, and there's a few hills on this ride, so it's just to kind of get used to the hills again. I won't say it's a bit warmer today, but it's 8 degrees, which is a bit warmer than it was, or a bit less cold, shall we say, than it was last time when I cycled through Knaresborough. Testing out a few things today. I had my bike maintenance guy around yesterday, who hopefully has, that's better, fixed the issue with the left shifter, which was really, really stiff. And he gave the bike a general service ready for spring, put in a new cable, rearranged one of the cables to help it not be so stiff. And so I'm testing that, and just get my little bar end mirror right. There we go. A bit of a cool breeze today. I think it's going to be sunny intervals. Fingers crossed it won't rain. So my bike coach has said I need to do a ride of around 2 hours, introduce a few hills to see how I get on with those. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. I've still got my winter tyres on, which will slow me down. I've got one less layer on, so hopefully that's a tiny, tiny bit of weight off. So I've got 3 pairs of socks and the stick-on disposable foot warmers, which means I've got to wear my winter boots because they're bigger to allow for the extra bulk. Not got the thick hand warmers, gloves on as yet. These are medium ones, and I haven't got the stick-on. They go inside your gloves, the hand warmers. But I might need to put them in later if it gets a bit colder. Sorry, I don't feel it in my fingertips. So I'm not rushing on this ride, just taking it easy to see how I'm getting on with stuff. Yeah, the shifter is a heck of a lot better. So we will be skirting the Yorkshire Wolds. We won't actually be going up onto them as such. We'll be skirting them, even though we will be doing a few hills. So in a way it's the foothills of the Yorkshire Wolds. And we will be going past the picturesque Kirkham Priory on the Leeds-York Scarborough railway line, which we will cross twice. Still have manned signal boxes on that line and semaphore signals, which is really sweet. So I think they'll probably be upgrading those before too long. Thank you for all your lovely comments, and for those of you who've asked what camera I'm using a GoPro Hero 4, which is quite old now, 10 years old. I don't know if it's that old, but it's been fine, it's been great. And I've got a plastic housing with a little hole above the built-in microphone so it can record my voice, and it's all attached to a kind of padded strap that goes around my chest, over my shoulders, like a harness. I do have to tweak the sound a little when I upload it to the video editing software which I use, which is Power Director, because sometimes the sound can come through as a bit quiet and a bit muffled, so I just tweak it slightly using the graphic equalizers on the software and increasing the volume. It's an easy process. What isn't easy is when you have to do wind removal on a really windy day. That takes quite a long time on Power Director, because you have to remove the wind on each individual clip, and if you've got a GoPro camera you'll know that what you get is a series of clips, they're about 17 minutes long, and then it'll go on to another clip 17 minutes long, and so on. So you have to upload the whole lot, and then there is no way as yet to string them all together, so you only have to do wind reduction once. But so I hope I don't have to do that today. Lots of signs of spring when I was driving here from Leeds. Loads of snowdrops everywhere. Spring is gradually pushing its way into the year. These gates that you can see ahead, they lead to the grounds of a stately home. I can never remember the name of it. It's an old Georgian mansion in which we skirt. The main entrance is in Buttercran, which we will pass before we cross over the River Derwent. Ooh, I'm glad I got my mud guards on. I also cleaned my tyres. Everything's still a bit muddy from the off-road section I did on the Knaresborough ride. You probably can't see it, but the stately home is over there. It's definitely still cold. My fingertips are getting a bit cold. See the stately home over there. It's quite small and compact. What this facade is. So we're coming to the junction where we turn left to Buttercran and the River Derwent. And there's a kind of bit of, I think it's a mill race or something we also cross. There's two bridges. Here we are, Buttercran. What a lovely name. Coming up to the entrance to the stately home, which I'll know the name when I see it. Little gatehouse. Oldby Park, that's it. Look at all the snowdrops. Some daffodils coming out as well. That's an old mill, that is. So, two little bridges here. First across whatever is, it's feeding the mill over there. And the second across the River Derwent, which we will cross later on at Kirkham Priory. So we're just climbing a little bit here before turning off right. We'll be heading towards the tiny village of Leavening. I've done a number of variations of this route before. So we're climbing very gradually here. Heading east, sort of straight ahead is Bridlington, and the main Bridlington road is over there. The road that goes through Stamford Bridge. Famous, of course, for the battle that preceded the Battle of Hastings in 1066. When Harold Hardrada came over from Scandinavia trying to invade England, Harold of England's brother Tostig defeated him, sent him packing. But the bad news was that William had either landed or was about to land from Normandy to Hastings on the south coast, and it would have been a bit of a trek for the army all the way from here to Hastings. We go right up here. So imagine that was one of the reasons why they lost the battle, because the army may have been completely exhausted, if indeed it was the same army, or elements of the army that fought in the Battle of Hastings. So yeah, we go right here. You can buy potatoes for £10. There's a little farm shop along here, I pointed it out before. And in the summer, it sells ice cream. I've got a flask of coffee with me today, like I have had on the last 2 rides. Oh, it's a bit muddy and flooded here. Be a good experiment to do this ride in the summer, wearing my summer kit, summer tyres on the bike, and hopefully me a bit fitter than I am now. See how it compares. As you can see, I'm not recording it on my Garmin, I'm recording it on Strava on my phone. Why? Because I'm not attempting to complete any records, and also Garmin needs recharging. So if you come along here and you want to know where the farm shop is, it's exactly there on the left. Farm shop. No ice cream signs today. Oh, muck. Smells a bit minty. Hedges nicely clipped. Luckily I've missed the clipping season here. Right ahead is the start of the Yorkshire Wolds, and pretty much every lane that leads up onto them is a hill, challenging hill, and I've done some of them on my bike. Won't be doing it today because we are skirting the hills, or the foothills of the Yorkshire Wolds. Just over the top and down is Thixondale, which I will be cycling up as my fitness improves. Not today though. There's a phone mast at the top of the hill which you probably can't see, which is where, if you were doing the Thixondale version of this ride, you'd be cycling up a very steep hill. Morning. Glamping. Bugthorpe Grange. Yeah, there's a junction down here, and if you wanted to get to Bugthorpe you turn right, and there's about 3 options there for climbing up onto the Wolds, none of which is easy. I made a cycle ride video last summer of doing one of them, we're coming up to the junction. We'll be turning left and then almost immediately left again towards Leavening. So like I said, if you want to go to Bugthorpe, you turn right there. But we aren't going that way. So we turn left to here. You can get up onto the Wolds just going straight ahead. You join a climb that I've done a number of times, where I normally go along here, turn right again, and then join that climb further on. I go through the village of Acklam, but I'm not going that way today. As I said before, this area is a fantastic area to bring your bike for a holiday if you're not from Yorkshire. They always say the Yorkshire Wolds are amongst the best hidden secrets of Yorkshire. Because people go to the Dales, they go to the Pennines like Haworth and places, they go to the coast, East Coast, and the North York Moors, but quite often the Yorkshire Wolds get overlooked, which I'm not complaining about because it's nice and quiet. I'll be doing a tiny climb up to the village in a moment. All these are climbs I know really well, which will be a really good way to see where I am fitness-wise, condition-wise, which is what this ride is all about. There's this first little tiny hill, and then there's another one a bit further on up to the village, up to a junction. So we've got this climb up to the junction coming up. And we'll be turning left at the junction. You will see a map of this ride at the beginning of the video. So if you want to copy it, just pause that section and have a look. As yet, haven't got around to uploading GPX versions of it. But I might do. There may also be a way on the Ordnance Survey app that I use that I can provide a link. Shall investigate. Oh, so that wasn't too bad. This is Leppington. Very small village. If you go down there on the left, it takes you back to that road that I came out on from Bossall. I'll be coming to a downhill stretch soon out of the village. Hello. So a nice section coming up before we come to two climbs. The first is what I call a phony climb because it's not too bad, and just when you think that's it, you reach the real one. But for now we've got this nice easy stretch to let you gather your breath, bring your heart rate down. As I said, we are skirting the Wolds, which begin there really. We carry on going straight ahead, as that will lead us well to that road. And as you can see, Moulton. But there are nicer ways to get to Moulton through the Wolds. It's definitely warming up now, which is good. So just a little bit of ambling up and down, undulating before we get to the climbs. Lots of daffodils are going to be coming up. If I come up here in a week or so, that'll be lovely. Except in a week or so I'll be on Exmoor. But then hopefully we'll see a lot of nice daffodils there too. It's me and my son who are going, and we will be doing the walks that I videoed in November, so I won't be videoing them this time. But probably take photos of the bits that are really different from when I was there in November and November before that. Loads of daffodil shoots coming up. It's lovely. A real positive sign. Yeah, I was thinking, while all this nastiness goes on in the world with Trump and Russia and everything, things just carry on as normal. The seasons come and go. It was one of the last conversations I had with my friend who passed away last month, when I met her in December, who was talking about the difference between really nasty, evil, vile, disgusting people and kind, caring, compassionate people, and pondering on why that is. Why some people take one route and some people take the other. We talked about it at length. One of our last conversations, and I remember it because of that, and also because it's very topical at the moment. Meanwhile, we're coming up to what I call the phony climb, and then the big one goes up the hill. This is a strange crop. I looked it up last time I came this way to see exactly what it was and what it's used for. I think it's a biofuel crop. It's very strange because it looks sort of wheat coloured, barley coloured, but a lot taller, a lot sort of spikier, and at the wrong time of year, of course. So I'm pretty sure it's a biofuel crop on both sides. I shall check it out. It's not very beautiful. Well, it is if you think of it as if it's the other end of the year and it's barley or wheat waiting to be harvested, if you look at it that way. So, was that the phony climb? If so, it wasn't bad. Or is this the phony climb with worse to come? I don't know. Whatever way, we're heading up in a minute. Getting quite warm. Blimey. I have a nasty feeling this is the phony climb. The one that makes you think, oh, that wasn't too bad. So that was the phony climb. I'm way out of condition. Way out of condition. Not clear yet as to whether it was or not. But it's a nice section here. Fingers crossed, that was the actual climb. Fingers crossed. Or was it? I'm pretty sure that was the actual climb, in which case that's not bad at all. Yeah, it was. Whee! Yippee! This is evening. So, very good, very good, very good. Now, when I'm fitter, what I would do at evening, I'll tell you in a minute. You can take a right in the evening and you head up a very steep climb onto the Wolds, one of the many very steep climbs onto the Wolds. And then I was taking the Vixendale, but I'm not doing that today. So we'll be cutting out that section. So we're going, now then, are we going straight on or not? I need to check here. So we go straight on here, which is where I will go on the other ride. If you go up there, you end up at Acklam, and then you've got to climb up from there. But the end of this lane is a right turn, where it's a gradual but steep climb, especially the first bit, up onto the Wolds. Brings you out virtually at the top of Vixendale. So you can either cycle down for it to Vixendale, or you can turn right, as I often do, and then go down to Vixendale a bit further on. And then you climb up from Vixendale. See my other rides. So if you wanted to go up, you would turn up there. We're not going that way. We're heading to West Row, which is, we've been through West Row quite a bit on the way to Kirkham Priory, but I'm not approaching it from this angle. Chair seating. I didn't see any chairs. So we'll be heading right at the cycle route sign. More little daffodils. Oh, some crocuses. Are they crocuses? Can't tell. This road's a little bit busier because it's one of the roads that lead to Moulton, one of the more minor roads. So you get Moulton traffic on it. I will be doing another ride later in the week. Got to do a 3-hour ride then, without so many hills. Says my bike coach. So I haven't decided where I'll be going yet. I do have lots of plans for this year, as I said on my last video. Plans to redo a number of the best rides that I did on my old bike and with the old Physio software. Where I didn't talk and I often put some music on instead, which I stopped doing when one of my followers said, we'd rather you didn't. It's much better without the music, and I agree. That was a really good piece of advice. Thank you to whoever said that. And for some reason, someone said they liked me talking on the videos. Well, thank you very much. Because I wonder if it gets annoying. I find it quite cathartic. It's like cycling in a group, but not cycling in a group. I don't like cycling in a group. I like to do my own thing. I'm too independent. I am wondering whether to take my bike to Somerset this year. I used to go cycling in Somerset, East Somerset, quite a lot with my old bike. 10 years ago, 10 years ago. And I made quite a few videos which are a bit, well, they're okay. And some of them I've actually lost. So I might remake them. It's quite interesting stuff in East Somerset. And it's not as fierce as, say, West Somerset or North Devon or Exmoor or South Devon. It's a bit easier going. So it would be quite a good place to go in the spring as a warm-up, if I can get a bargain. I've got a load of Tesco Club Card vouchers to spend on. I can spend it on holiday cottages, so I've got to use some before August, so it sounds like a good idea. We're coming up to the junction to Burythorpe, which is where we join the regular ride that I do on this route. And over there, I don't know if you can see it, it's the little Burythorpe Church, which is outside the village, and I'm feeling the reason for that is that it was built on a pagan site, ? Have to look that up. So normally we come out there and kind of back on track now. So in a way this is a mix of two routes that I used to do. Well, I do, not used to do. I do regularly. We'll be turning left down here towards West Row, just here, along the National Cycle routes, which will take us all the way to Kirkham Priory. It's not a very nice road along here. The first bit's not too bad, but the second bit, it's really potholy. I think this bit's potholy too. Must be awful for local traffic that nothing is ever done about these lanes. Apart from the lane I set out on from Bossall at the start, which on a previous video from a few years ago I was ranting away because that was beautifully resurfaced, you know, the kind of tarmac. It was as smooth as a baby's bottom, and then some idiot came along and decided to cover it in that surfacing stuff. And completely ruined it, and it's completely unnecessary. This is a bit muddy here. See, this bit is in really bad condition. I always say to my bike coach when he says, get up some speed on your bike, you know, build up speed. I say, well, the lanes that I go on, it'd be suicidal to build up speed. Oh, like this on these surfaces, and also because you don't know what's just round the corner. Oh, that surfacing stuff is called surface dressing, isn't it? I think cyclists hate that stuff as much as they hate potholes, and but probably not as much as they hate hawthorn hedge clippings. Look, it's that crop again, that weird crop. Definitely looks like overgrown wheat, like they've forgotten to mow it. So climbs-wise, there's a steep climb, a short, sharp shock of a steep climb just across the railway line at Kirkham Priory. And I think that's pretty much the last climb, just undulating stuff after that. So, quite easy going really, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Because I have been doing indoor cycling as prescribed by my bike coach, who does different sessions all the time, trying to build up my fitness again after the winter, and after a lot of rest time in the winter when I was ill with flu. and things. This coming autumn, winter, I'm going to have to take some time out because I've got to have an operation. And I've got to rest for 6 weeks. After that, no heavy lifting, no cycling. Definitely no cycling. Which will be a bit annoying. So no heavy lifting, so you can't even do free weights. Having to pay for it privately because the NHS waiting list is massive, and things would have got really out of control by the time my turn came up on the NHS list. Don't worry, it's nothing serious, but it's something that, well, it is for a woman, it's serious. So let's not go into detail, but it's something gynecological, shall we say. Now we go straight ahead here. I suppose one of the bonuses of going private is that you can kind of pick and choose when you have the operation. I'll go and see the consultant next month, and I'll tell him, I'll say, can we wait till late October, so but it's expensive, as you can imagine. Anyway, it's starting to a bit of drizzle going on. BBC weather app said that 0 rain, but the sun's out. That was just a bit of drizzle. Right, we're heading to West Road. Which is just along here somewhere. This road surface is awful. So we're heading away from the Wolds now, heading towards the Howardian Hills. And the other side of the A64 is Castle Howard. It's funny as Kirkham Priory because the old railway station and the signal box are called Kirkham Abbey. So which is it? I mentioned in the last video I did of Kirkham Priory about when Churchill came to Kirkham Priory when the River Derwent in the war as part of the preparations for the D-Day landing. think they were doing a bit of... There must be something about it that replicated somewhere in Normandy. Maybe. The road surface is particularly bad here. This is awful. Never gets any better. Sunshine. Bit of a breeze. Lots of sheep over there, no lambs as yet. Here we are coming into Westrow. Sweet little village with a little pub off the beaten track. And presumably there's a little church down there, never been. Oh, there's no better time than the present, is there? Why not? Just a short ride. So if the church is down here, then it's some distance out of the village. I don't know if it's a dead end, I didn't notice. Whatever it is, it's a long way out of the village, like I said. Where's the church? Is there still a church? Is this a wild goose chase? Oh, I think there is a church down there, but it's nowhere near the village. Why is it so far away? You can see it over there. Oh, I'm loving the shifter, the way it's been fixed. Let's tell my bike mechanic But it's brilliant. There's the church. Over there. With some walk for the villagers back in the day. Okay for those with horses and carts. People still come to this church or this way. It's definitely a dead end. Do you remember that little church I walked past and I walked into it in Exmoor? No Dunkery beacon. It had no electricity and had that funny harmonium thing, musical instrument, like a kind of organ. So here we are, this little church in the middle of nowhere. It's Commonwealth War Grave here, so there are in a lot of village churchyards. I think there were people who died of injuries back here, as opposed to who died in France or wherever. Here we are. What does it say? Parish of West Buckrose. It's not open. Fly flew into my mouth. Maybe it's the same reason why Burythorpe Church is so far from the village. Maybe it's the thing round here, who knows? I shall find out. The village, you can see it up there. Oh, the moles have been busy in that field where the sheep are. Good grief. Don't think I've ever seen so many molehills. So we're back on track here, turning right of course into the village. So I'm wondering if that was the old vicarage. Long way for the vicar to go, but I imagine he had a horse. Or carriage. Or both. We go past two pubs now, if you're thirsty and hungry. Just down here on the right is the village pub for Westrow. I don't know if it's open at lunchtimes though. The one further on at Kirkham Priory is open at lunchtimes. I just stopped, changed the battery, have a swig of the coffee in the flask, nice chat with a local postman. This is one of the pubs, obviously. Hello. A taste of life in the country, it says. It's not open though. We turn left here. National cycle route still, heading to Kirkham Priory. Oh, it's West Stow, not West Row. Get it right. Westow. So it's a relatively easy undulating run to Kirkham Priory before we go up that short, sharp, steep climb the other side of the railway. We cross over the level crossing. Old-fashioned railway crossing, and so is the one further on. Here we enter the Howardian Hills. National landscape. It used to be area of outstanding natural beauty. Why have they changed it? Natural landscape doesn't sound as good, does it? I mean, anywhere's a natural landscape, isn't it, if it's in the countryside? It could be surrounded by power stations and factories but it's a natural landscape. One of those silly changes, no doubt, that they didn't really need to make, but probably cost quite a bit of money. I shall Google that as well, find out why. Yeah, I want to know why it's no longer an area of outstanding natural beauty. Is it no longer outstanding? Is it no longer beautiful? What a load of bollocks. Soon we'll be coming to quite a large pub that is usually open, and in the summer you get loads of people sat outside eating and drinking. So expensive though now. We have really stopped going to the pub. We always used to go on a Friday night, me and my husband, after he finished work, before tea, or sometimes we'd eat out. We don't do that now. It's just too expensive. It's a shame. Though the good part is that we're not drinking early on in the evening, which means that you fall asleep later on, or else you just carry on drinking, which isn't a good thing. Bit bumpy this. At some point they put this nasty surface dressing on here and it wears out, doesn't it? And it's a bit bumpy. You can hear the rattling on my bike. Here's the pub coming up on the right. When I worked in advertising, which I did for 30 odd years, we used to get briefs from a client that would say, we've got this ad, or we've got this strapline motto, or whatever you want to call it, about a product, and we want to change it. We want something new. We've had it for quite a while. Yes, it's been phenomenally successful, but we want to change it to something else for no reason at all, apart from the fact that they want to change it and probably justify their existence as account managers. And you'd be there, you'd be thinking, because I worked in the creative department, you'd be thinking, I can't think of anything that's better than what they've got already, to be honest. Why don't they just leave it as it is, or just tweak it a bit? By the way, here we are at Kirkham, but, you know, usually they come up with something really rubbish. And it's one of the reasons why I quit advertising. It's so frustrating. And I think that's what they must have done with the area of outstanding natural beauty. Stick it in front of a load of creatives and an ad agency and say, come up with something else. And we say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the existing one? Well, we've had it for a long time. We want to call it something else. So, might be wrong. We'll Google it. Anyway, we're just coming down to the lovely Priory. There's not a lot of it left. But there's a very distinctive gatehouse. It's very attractive, and which will feature at the start of this video on the thumbnail. And straight ahead you can see the old railway station. Before the trees are in leaf, you can see through to things like this that you can't see in the summer. Don't use it as a railway station now. So here we are at the very attractive Kirkham Priory. And down there we've got the signal box, the railway line, the old station, now a private dwelling, and the river. So this would be where Churchill came to practice the D-Day landings. This is closed at the moment. Look at it. Someone's missing their head up there. That's what we get, not much. When I was a child, we used to be a member of English Heritage. Well, it was called the Ministry of Works in those days. And then it was called, was it Ancient Monuments or something? We used to have a season ticket, and my mum always had a season ticket, but I kind of preferred National Trust because there was always more to see, whereas English Heritage, it's just usually ruins, not much to see really. Oh, the moles have been at work here as well. Must be mole season. And there's the river. Loads of moles. Gosh, look at them all. And the river is in full flow. In the summer you get kids swimming in it and jumping off the bridge into the river. Shame there's no train coming along. Son on the river, look, you can see where the mole's been. He's dig, all the way along there like a little mole highway. Must be hard work being a mole. You see the beautiful, elegant bridge. A bit of Gothic stuff going on in the last arch. Howsham is the next crossing of the railway line, which we'll go over. Which, it's not a signal box, it's just a sort of, it looks like a signal box, but I think they just open and close the gates, because they're open and closed manually, not by electricity. I think these are electric, even though they look like old gates. And then we have that steep climb that goes through the wood, up, snakes up, and then we cycle along the top there, along to the Howsham level crossing. Howsham is a crossing called after Howsham Hall, which is a wedding venue now, along there. We don't go past, well, we go past it in the distance. I've taken some lovely photos of this crossing, looking that way, little boats and everything in the summer. This time of year it's not so pretty, and the river looks quite murky. So the river is a bit murky today, and it's kind of flooded a little bit there, but oh, look at that cute little house. Is it a duck house or something? Can you see it? Like a little church with little steps up to it. Oh, it's so sweet. And there we've got the old railway station a bit closer. That boat needs a bit of a clean, doesn't it? I think this is a pretty old bridge, this one. We have those two arches and then a Gothic arch under this bit here. And then you get a good view of the Priory. But there isn't a lot of it, is there? I mean, I'd be a bit disappointed if I came all this way and paid to go round it, but because the other abbey that I cycle past a lot is Byland Abbey, and that's free to go round, and I think there's more of it than there is of this. There's some very interesting old medieval tiled floors there, which are really interesting, as I just said. So, yeah, there's no putting off going up this hill any longer. We are going to have to climb it. So we start to climb here. It gets steeper as we go around the bend. Not this bend, the next bend. A lot of aircraft noise. Military aircraft. Oh. Did it. Not bad. And with the winter tyres and all the extra weight, not bad. So we're cycling high up above but parallel to the railway line at the moment. Scarborough's behind us, York straight ahead, kind of. Here's the top of the hill as we head down to Howsham Crossing across the railway. Tiny little village of Cramb ahead. On a no-through road. All this military aircraft noise makes you hope they're not practicing for something we don't know about. And what happens for the US air bases that we've got in our country now that America has made it clear it's no friend of Europe? That's going to be a bit tricky. But let's not go there, it's too stressful to think about that. Nice easygoing section down to the Halsham crossing. It's an awful lot of noise. Oh my God. It's so noisy. I find it quite stressful. I'm trying to de-stress at the moment. You can't see anything because the noise comes after, doesn't it? Because of the sound travelling at a lower speed to light and the clouds. We are coming up to the sweet little crossing. You can probably see the little box, which is not a signal box. It's just I'm not sure what it does apart from open and closes the gates. I'll have to find out. Well, it might be a signal box. I'll have to check. It's very tiny anyway. No train at the moment. I think that's probably an old station building too. It's got that look about it. And over there somewhere is Howsham Hall, the wedding venue, an old stately home. Some of it dates back to 16th century, question mark. Seem to have repaired the roads a bit here. Often that means they're going to wax surface dressing on top of it, which will be bad. So that's Howsham Hall. You can see the stable block with the little clock tower and the actual hall itself. It kind of looks like what you might imagine, what's it called? Thornfield Manor. It's got that look about it. Some place that's the mad woman in the attic, Jane Rochester, that she could just jump off. Was it Jane? But the terrain around here is nothing like the terrain in the Pennines, where presumably Thornfield would have been located if it was a real place. More mole activity. This must be mole season. Are they all looking for mates? I wonder. Everywhere. Coming up to a junction where we turn left and then almost immediately right, heading back to Bossall where we started. I wonder how we're doing for time. Not bad, we've done about 1 3/4 hours all in all. So the instructions were to do a 2-hour ride with a few hills, and I think that it fitted the bill perfectly. So left here and then right here. If you go straight on, you end up back at Leavening, where we were earlier. Oh, it's a bit flooded in there, a bit like a swamp. Imagine if it was a bit warmer, you'd get crocodiles or something in it. Maybe not here, maybe not. Oh, they're saying that there's an awful lot of wild boars appearing over the country at the moment, which may have been introduced, not illegally, but unofficially. And they said that most of them are in the Forest of Dean, which is where I first went cycling after toying with the idea of beginning cycling again after decades. We were cycling on a holiday in Forest of Dean, and you could see the evidence of the wild boars in the woodlands gnawing away at the trees. And they say they're on Exmoor and Dartmoor now. Long way to travel from the Forest of Dean though. Hello. I think of worse things to be released into the wild. Like crocodiles. We go left here. If you go straight on, you end up at the A64 Scarborough Road from York and Leeds. Gets easier here because we're on the edge of the Vale of York. So if you stayed in a cottage here for a week with your bike, loads of cycling routes to do, loads of pubs. And if it rains, you can go into York. York is just down the road. Lots to do in York. If you fancy the seaside, Scarborough's just down the road, and Malton is worth a visit because it's got loads and loads of kind of artisan style shops with homemade food items and all sorts of stuff. Worth a visit. And my husband's got a blacksmith course there for a day, which we bought him for his 60th birthday. So he'll be heading there next month to do that. And I think that's at a sort of craft centre in Malton. And Beverley, of course, called after me, not, is a great place. There's a pub there called Nelly's Bar, which I presume it's still the case. It's lit by gas, not electricity. Either been a few times. It's like travelling back through time. And then not too far away you've got Whitby. Oh, there's so much to do around here, there really is. Get yourself a cottage in the middle of the Yorkshire Wolds and bring your bike, bring some walking boots, maybe stay for 2 weeks. So much to do. And there won't be so many tourists like you get in other places. Apart from York, of course. And Scarborough, I imagine, and Whitby. Hello. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe to the Ordnance Survey app. When you subscribe, and the subscription is very affordable, you get to see, you get to be able to zoom in and see the equivalents of the orange maps. Which are the ones you'd use for footpaths and such like. And also the pink maps, if you zoom out a bit, are the ones that I would use for cycling. You can see where you are at any one time, and also you can search routes. People save their favourite routes. You can either save them privately or make them public. I need to start saving mine as public and giving you a link to them. Save an awful lot of money on buying maps, although we have millions of maps, and you don't have to carry a map around with you. But you have to be mindful of the fact that your phone might not be able to pick up satellite. So I always do screenshots of the mapped out route if I'm in an area where I don't know where I am, where I'm going. We're getting a bit gloomy here as we head back towards Bossall. You're nearly at Bossall, that's the church. Straight ahead. They are repairing the roof at the moment. That's what the workman sign is for. So, as we approach Bossall, say thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.